Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. Family Radio now invites you to join us for our Family Bible Reading Fellowship as we read together from God's Word, the Bible. Here to seek the face of Him who alone has been our help in ages past, and who alone is our hope for years to come. Join us now for our Family Bible Reading Fellowship. Chapter 18. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat at the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground. And he said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, do not pass away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray thee, be brought, and wash thy feet, and rest under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and you may comfort your hearts. And after that you shall pass on, for therefore you are come to your servant. And they said, Do so as you have said. And Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran out to the herd, and brought a calf, tender and good. And he gave it unto a young man, and he hurried to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah your wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah your wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and far gone in days, and it had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am past age shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I, who am old, truly bear a son? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return again, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, No, but you did laugh. And the men arose from there, and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham was with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do? When Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the persons of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he spoke to them. And the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which has come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces away from there, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham still stood before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perhaps there are 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are in it? Far be it from thee to act in this manner, to kill the righteous with the wicked. And far be it from thee that the righteous should be as the wicked. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord, who am but dust and ashes. Perhaps there will be 5 lacking from the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. And he spoke unto him yet again, and said, Perhaps there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake, And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Perhaps there shall be 30 found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Lo, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Perhaps there shall be 20 found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, O do not let the Lord be angry, and I will speak only once more. Perhaps 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left off talking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. Genesis chapter 19. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at the evening time, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot rose up to meet them when he saw them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and said, Behold now, my lords, I pray you return into your servant's house, and stay all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go your ways. And they said, No, but we will stay in the street all night. But he urgently pressed on them, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and baked unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, surrounded the house, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called to Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in unto you this night? Bring them out to us, that we may know them. And Lot went out to the door unto them, and shut the door after him. And he said, I pray you, brothers, do not do so with me. Behold, now I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. I pray you, let me bring them out unto you, and you do to them as is good in your eyes. But do nothing unto these men, for therefore they came under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said, This one came in to stay, and he must needs be a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. And they pressed hard upon the man Lot, and came near to breaking the door. But the men put out their hands, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Have you any one here beside yourself? Bring your sons-in-laws, and your sons, and your daughters, and whatever you have in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke with his sons-in-law, who married his daughters, and said, Get up, and get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked to his sons-in-law. And when the morning rose up, then the angels hurried Lot, saying, Rise up, take your wife and your daughters, who are here, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the angel laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him outside the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought him outside, that he said, Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest you be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O no, Lord, pray. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shown to me in the saving of my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto thee, and it is a little one. O let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted you concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. You hurry and escape there, for I cannot do anything till you have come there. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar, and then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the city, that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abram got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the lands of the plain, and saw, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And when God destroyed the cities of the plain, it came to pass that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot lived. And the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered unto Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the lands of the plain, and saw, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. When God destroyed the cities of the plain, it came to pass that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot lived. And Lot went up out of Zoar, and lived in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to live in Zoar, and he and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man in the earth to come in unto us in the way of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, so that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he did not notice when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the next day that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and you go in and lie down with him, so that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he did not notice when she lay down, nor when she arose. And so both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi. And the same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
This has been Family Bible Reading Fellowship. Each day at this time, we invite you to join with us and read together from God's Word, the Bible, as we unite our hearts in our Family Bible Reading Fellowship.